No,
I'm working on the light, man. I'm working on the light. These are the bloopers that we don't see until we get the $100 million deal, ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't understand. The light might go down. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Cold One's Conversation. We're going Michelob Ultras today. That means less calories, less sugar, no sugar. Michelob, if you want to sponsor us, if you want to send us gear, if you want to give us money, we will take it all day long. We just gave you a huge ad endorsement there. I go by many names. A few of them are Hollywood Hair and Harry Heaps, and I'm joined by my good friend, Brendan the Bod Petrilli. Trilli, how are we doing today, dude?
oh, we're doing fabulous. Absolutely amazing, spectacular, gorgeous. I don't know other adjectives. I need to break out the thesaurus or
Oh,
whatever it's
nice.
called.
Dude, that right there is a big enough word, right?
Yeah.
Thesaurus. You know what I mean? You didn't get it right on the first try. Well, that's all right. That's all right. You use descriptive adjectives. I
That's
learned
what
that
we
back.
do here. That's what we
That's
do.
what we
We
do.
bring you the knowledge, we bring you everything in the world of whether it's just straight up just words
That's right.
or the world of sports. That's what we do here on Cold One Conversations.
And we give you the used car salesman.
Yeah, just we're trying to figure out the lighting situation at
We
the
are.
same time. We're multitaskers. That's how we know we mean business here.
Is that a coach's Yeti right there, dude, that I'm seeing?
It is.
That is
Hey,
nice, dude.
hey,
Only coaches get that, ladies and
my
gents.
my second place Explorers right here, baby. That's the only way we know how.
Dude,
Second place.
the way you threw that on Snapchat, by the way, God bless. The way that you threw that on Snapchat, it made it look like that the other guys were second place, that they sucked.
I got you.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
but if you got the joke, like it was, all right, for everybody who's not on following me on Snapchat, I put up a picture of my squad. I'm like, second place sucks. And with the picture of the team and me in it, and with our second place medals. And I guess you can't see the medals because it's like a full view of the whole squad. And when it comes down to it, right, Philadelphia has been a place of second place finishes over the past couple years.
Right.
And I guess you can't convey tone over text like that. So I could
Yeah.
see how people wouldn't understand that I'm like actually pissed off
Right.
saying that second place sucks.
Right.
But I don't know how I would have been able to type it out to make it
Better.
not a joke, because I guess Harry and I have that relationship, and I hope we have it too for you, the listeners out there that are subscribed to the podcast, following us on Instagram, Twitter, and everything else at Brendan Petrilli, at Harold Hoops, and everything else. Cold One Conversations, PSP podcast. And you know how we're a very sarcastic bunch here, and we like to joke around and have fun with it. But that was more of a serious tone where I was just like, second place sucks, because it really does. You hate if you ain't first, you're last. And coming in second place there, so I guess I could see with me being a very jokative and try to make fun of situations that saying, yeah, maybe the other team lost, which I would have loved it, but we actually, in the real thing, we got our asses kicked. And I was just kind of just like, second place really fucking sucks. And we're trying not to curse.
Yeah, listen, please comment how often we curse. We're working on it. Okay. We're not doing a swear jar. We don't have enough money yet from the pod to start our own swear jar where we could do that. We're self-funded. Okay, we're self-funded. We're looking for the $100 million year. We got a sponsor. We got a great sponsor in Philly Drinkers. We're going to give them a shout out a little bit later in the show.
We love them.
We love them. But we're also looking for a $100 million deal. You guys know this. You've been following us since the beginning. If you've been following us any single episode, you know we're looking for the $100 million deal, beginning or not. All right. This is going to be an all NBA show. On top of that, we got a new section, a new series on the show called Boots on the Ground. And I want to give a quick intro to what Boots on the Ground is, ladies and gents. Boots on the Ground is when we get an insider, a deep fan, somebody other than Trilli and I. And obviously, Boots on the Ground, when a war correspondent is reporting on the war, when we had Americans in Vietnam reporting on the soldiers, did they use those Americans' names? No, they did not. They kept all identity secret. We keep all identity secret with Boots on the Ground. All identities are kept secret, and the names of those who release their opinions, they're kept safe. Their identities are kept safe. So we're going to have a guy, Boots on the Ground today. He's going to be talking a little bit on the Wizard side of the Beal trade, maybe even a little, Porzingis, or as I like to call him, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Either way, it's going to go down. He's going to be breaking that down as a lifelong fan. We'll have him on later. I'm not going to reveal that guest name yet. And again, it's not even his real name. But we're talking all NBA here. We're going to talk Harden. We're going to talk Beal. We're going to talk Kristaps. We're going to talk Celtics. We're going to talk NBA championship way too early predictions. We got a heated show here, man. This is a true midsummer podcast, man. I'm ready for it.
Well, Harold, you know what we're doing here? We're keeping up with the NBA. That's what we're doing for this podcast episode.
We're keeping up with the NBA. See, like, ladies and you don't get that anywhere else. Let's kick off keeping up with the NBA. All right, dude. I gotta bring in the Suns' perspective. Obviously, we go out and we get another big three. Now, Petrilli, remind me if I'm lying to you. Didn't I say that we need to trade everybody else, but just keep two guys and build around those two guys?
You did, but you know who I said that you should have went and got? They didn't go. They got for the lesser of the two, in my opinion.
I agree. If you're gonna get anybody, go for Jay Poole. Go for the guy. We did it. Who are you talking about?
We were talking Jaylen Brown on the last pod. I was saying Ayton for Brown.
Except I got insiders within the Celtics saying the Brown's never leaving. So that topic is done.
He's out.
You have no idea.
He'll be out in the next week.
He's 100%. Staying. He's staying. All right, we're staying with the Suns here for a second. Let's talk about it, man. So I want to break down what I think from the beginning because I got a few notes here, and I want to see what you think about this chronological order. The pandemic happens. And the Suns go into the bubble. They go on this ridiculous run. They don't make the playoff, obviously. That was the first year of the play-in. And they don't make it, but they come out feeling accomplished. Like, how did we just go on this run? And they clear house front office-wise. They clear house with their coaching staff, and they really start to build around Booker. And they go and they get this phenomenal talent in Chris Paul for the time that we had him. I gave my heartfelt speech to him a little while ago, as we all know. Go back a few episodes, watch that. That was so hard. That was like I was singing the national anthem at a ball game, at a Super Bowl. That was the junior to when your head coach was crying on camera during the Super Bowl during the national anthem.
The people are on my side though. That it was a little disrespect that Chris Paul's jersey was going on sale that fast.
Of course, it's disrespect. But I'm taking the deal.
Yeah,
I'll take the deal all day long. Are you not taking the deal?
No, of course. If I'm a consumer, I'm going to take it. But I'm just saying, as an organization as a whole, if we respect the guy that much, that shouldn't be going on at 40% off.
Hey,
like that fast.
Out with week of. In with the new. Point being is we go and get a guy like Chris Paul. We're all about winning. We make it to an NBA championship. We don't win it. And then we go get a guy like Kevin Durant. And I said right away when we got KD, I don't know that we're winning the championship this year. But do I think that we should be a contender? Absolutely, I do. And we saw those guys did not have enough time to get adjusted to each other. Chris Paul gets injured consistently during this past season, goes down. And what we kind of explained last week was the same team. I'm going to jump over another team in the West quickly. In the Golden State Warriors has innovated since the 2000s, this new type of NBA, which is best starting five ever. They go and win 3 championships. Best bench. They go and win a championship now 2 years ago. And now they're going to go into where they're really just going to build around Curry, their young guys, and probably Draymond because they're going to get rid of Clay. They're going to go down to 2. They've created this cycle, this system that every team tries to copy a few years later down the road. The Warriors they're in Silicon Valley. They're always a few years ahead, right? Technology, they're there. Their brains are there. The whole deal. What I argue before we bring on our guy who's going to give us boots on the ground is that I think that this team sees something in Beal that no fan, not you, Trilly, not me, not boots on the ground, that nobody sees. Because they're bringing him in for one specific reason. I'm going to tell you right now, with the addition of Beal, I'm going to give you the exact number that Kevin Durant is going to play this season games-wise. He will play regular season. He will play under 55 games this season. There's no question in my mind. The whole reason why they brought in Beal is they want Beal to work with Booker solely. I think that those three are going to play basically the same amount of games the regular season as Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden did, which was none. I see them playing maybe 12 games together in the regular season, all 3 on the court. And then they're going to start sitting guys because they know how brittle KD's feet are now. KD's got like 2 to 3 years left to be that sniper, to be that assassin. And Beal's supposed to be the guy to take the miles off. Beal's been injured. There's no doubt about it, but he's been injured in a losing organization that he's had to carry for most of his time since John Wall's departure. So I'm excited to see what can happen. Am I excited about the move? Not necessarily. I think that I love what we got rid of to get him. That's the only takeaway. What we gave up to get him, it shows how horribly run the Wizards are. How do you take Chris Paul, who you know you're going to waive or trade, and nothing really after that?
And Landry Shamet, a couple pick swaps, second round picks.
You got nothing. You got nothing.
Yeah, second round picks in the NBA, like that's nothing.
The Suns completely won that deal. But is it the best?
We'll have to see, but
no, we don't have to see. We know.
It was nothing. Yeah.
It was nothing. So the question is, though, does this push us?
Don't sleep on my boy Landry Shamet. You know where he was drafted.
Hey,
you know,
a no-title organization. Onward. The point being,
Philadelphia 76ers.
Little shot over the bow. I love how you took that. Come on, like what the fuck? All right, to wrap this up, dude. What I think is that the Suns are obviously indicating we believe that we're a championship roster. We can believe that we can win now. We know that we feel that we need one more guy to do so. We know that KD's brittle. We know that Booker is durable. And we believe that we see something in Beal. I think that at the end of the day, the guy who won the most is Beal. Because Beal's getting paid, bitch.
Yeah.
And he's going to an organization that will make the playoffs. He won. That's the takeaway of this whole thing. He won. So I'm going to digress now because I feel like I made some good points. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, yeah, before we get to the boots on the ground, because I'm going to ask him a couple of the same questions I'm going to ask you. Bradley Beal won. He's getting paid. He's on a team that can win now, right? And when we talked last the other week, right, all you people that are subscribed, have the bell on. Make sure you put them on right now as we talk. It's free for all you out there. We're giving you free subscriptions. So all you got to do is just take 1 second to click that button. But when it comes down to it, I was very hesitant of bringing this guy in because he has always been that guy that was trying to do what's best for him.
Correct.
And he got what was best for him because the Wizards caved over the past year and a half, giving him a no trade clause, giving him a max deal, giving him everything he wanted because they didn't want to lose him. And then to go a year later, okay, fine, we're going to flip you for a couple of seconds and Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and first round, like what, trade exceptions? Like,
yep.
Come on now. Does that make me feel better as a Suns fan looking at this situation where he obviously has always looked out for himself? He has never looked out for what's best of the team. Going to the Suns, he could have said, "Hey, release me. Hey, let's do make our contracts work out here." He's not taking a pay cut. The Suns have no cap flexibility. They have nothing available to bring in a bench. You traded away your best bench piece because that was all you had to give away, and Landry Shamet coming off the bench for you. How do they make this work in Phoenix where you have the three big superstars now? I'm light to say that Bradley Beal is a superstar, but you have three scorers on this team where you're going to have to make it work on those three guys. They can give each other a little bit of time off if you have the right coach to rotationally wise make that work. But that's also a problem that we've seen with teams. And when it comes down to it, I don't know, because we just saw with this Nuggets team, we saw with that Heats team, we saw with the Bucks a couple years ago, we saw with teams need the balance, they need the depth to be able to make these deep runs on top of the firepower, where they kind of said, forget that we're going back to 2015. We're going back to 2013. We want not one, not two, not three. You know, LeBron James, we're going for the dream team. I'm going to Phoenix. You know, he's trying to build that dream team. And KD, that's what he's been able to win with, right? When he was with Golden State.
That's what he's all about.
He tried to go and do it in Brooklyn. Did not work.
No.
Now he's gone to Phoenix. He's trying to do it again. now has his magic run up? Has KD's? I think he's a great basketball player all around, but is the fit around the rest of this team? Does Booker, not Booker, Ayton, does he hang around now?
No.
Do you have to get rid of him, right? For depth purposes, just to
Correct.
be able to try to free up room. Where does this leave this team now moving forward, Harry?
And on top of that, what makes me nervous is that the best landing spot for Ayton just got filled by the Wizards. The best landing spot for us to get the most out of it was for Ayton to become a Celtic.
Oh yeah, and we talked about it here on Cole One
Exactly.
Conversations. Yeah.
Here on Cole, dude. That, by the way, what a tremendous intro to a show. Like we are firing right now. But dude, you make so many valid points. I agree, bro. Shoot it. You know what I mean? It goes back to the point. I wanted to call this segment Beal, the good, bad, and the ugly. And the bad is, did we need it? No, not really. We needed bench. And we didn't go and facilitate that, man. There's no question that Ayton's on his way out. Where he goes, currently, I don't know. I do think it's going to be a team in the West. On obviously, unless a team like the Warriors want him, but I think the Warriors are really into this small ball type offense. But there are there are not many teams in the West that need a big man, but the East does. I think that what's scary, man, is that I have to trust in. Listen, put yourself in my shoes. If we were talking about the Sixers here, is what I'm trying to get at. I am not going to sell my team down the river. I'm going to say that I really do believe that since that bubble and since that run of getting Chris Paul, this team is educated and this team wants to win, and they know how to get true talent around Booker to be at a very high successful level. So I believe that they see something in Beal that I don't see yet. And again, I think the main intention of it is, listen, if they're going to pay that guy this type of money, they're looking to get miles out of him. He better be ready to perform, because that's what that money takes. Especially when you haven't won a title yet. When you have not won a title yet and you're getting that type of money, you need to be ready to put miles on the court. And that's what I think that they're looking to do here, man. I think that they're looking for this regular season team to be a Booker Beal team with KD spiced in throughout, and hopefully we can get a bench through Ayton. I think it's I'll be very real. I think it's way too high to think that Ayton's going to get us 3 guys. I think at most he's going to get us 2 guys, 2 role facilitators, and a pick.
I think you're better off going picks with him just to have a back end future wise.
I like that as well, but they're in this section where
they're just winning now.
Got to make a move.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They got. Yeah. I mean, if they got KD here, and we're only talking 2 to 3 years, they got to win one in 2 to 3. They got to bring a championship home to Phoenix, or be in a position where they're in the finals. They were competitive. They were there. So they're going to move this guy for it. The question is Beal ready to put on that type of miles? He's going to be expected to. He's going to be expected to be an all-star in the West. That's hard to do. Do I think he can do it? Yes, I do. But he's going to be expected to play at the level where your first team all-Western Conference.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be top 3 Western Conference there. Now, what kind of thing to kind of tie it in to both of our teams now, right? Because I kind of like the comparisons. The Sixers, the Suns, they're in win now mode.
Correct.
Both teams are in win now. We saw what Joel could do. We saw what Booker has become over the past couple of years. He's entering his prime. Kevin Durant, he's leaving his prime in a year or 2. Beal is leaving his prime in a year or 2. What's going on with James Harden? Is he past his prime? Honestly, probably. Can Tyrese Maxey evolve into his prime and get you over the hump? What team would you rather be? Would you rather be a team that has 3 max deal players in this situation that is win now, no bench, 3 superstars like we would in the 2015 era, right, of NBA basketball? Or would you rather be a 76ers team with an MVP who just came off an MVP season but came up short? He choked in the last half of that series against the Celtics, and kind of you're figuring it out on the back end of it. Let us know, 610-632-0975. Give us a call here at 97.5 The Fanatic. You know what I'm saying?
was phenomenal. All right. Let's go to boots on the ground, dude. Let's go to boots on the ground. Call this and send me a new one. Ladies and gents, we'll be right boots on the ground. We're bringing you live reporting of the Washington deal from an inside Washington fan, deep fan. We don't give out names. We keep the identity secret. We'll be right back.
Do we have to blur his face out too or no?
Oh, we're going all phone call here, baby.
Oh, okay. Look at this fire hoodie. Fire hoodie. It's the most comfiest, the warmest, the softest,
Greatest.
the freshest. I look good. I look slim in the all black. You know what I'm saying?
Tremendous. You look tremendous.
But the boys at Philly Drinkers, I've had some friends buy some stuff recently. Shout out the boy Owen. He copped some merch the other day. Used promo code Brendan Petrilli at checkout for 10% off. He's like, dude, this is the most comfiest stuff I've ever bought. I look great. I feel great. I play great. And we're going out there and we're killing it with the boys at Philly Drinkers.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We took a quick break. That was an awesome first half. We got the new segment coming to you, Boots on the Ground. We keep identity safe here. We have a longtime fan about to enter the call. I'm going to call him right now, and he's going to break down what it means to go through this type of robbery. I'm sure he'll describe it as a Wizards fan, but I don't want to take up too much of the time, so I'm going to give him a call right now.
I'm very interested to see what's going to come from this, because
it's first time.
There's a lot of similarities with my team that his team is going through in the next 5+ years. Now I can't wait to hear.
We got him on. PHTC, are you there?
Here, guys. I'm here. Long time listener, first time caller.
Yes.
That's phenomenal, dude. Well, listen, you're on Cold Ones Conversations, and you're on the new segment called Boots on the Ground, which is where, we bring in people, we hide their identities, we keep you safe. We're not telling anybody who you are, where you're located, but we need you to bring us through this Wizards trade.
So basically, you want me to talk about Bradley Beal and what an absolute piece of shit he is?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to hear about Kristaps too. We haven't dove into him yet.
Yeah, and we want to hear about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, aka Kristaps.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that trade just fell through like 20 minutes ago, and the whole Kristaps trade, and I was like, well, if it fell through, well, why don't they just trade into the Celtics for a Larry Bird jersey, because that's basically what they got for Bradley Beal.
Okay.
If we're just giving shit away, you might as well just get what you can.
You got to catch what you can, right? So PH, bring us through when you first heard the news. Bring us through, number one, your experience with Bradley Beal. Number one, how long have you been a Wizards fan?
I've been a Wizards fan for probably over 25 years, all of which were absolute nightmares. So.
Right. And what would you wear to most of those games? Like, what was your normal attire?
Oh, yeah. So
a Bullets jersey
in the DC area, like they get off work, they go to games. We wear the button-ups and we wear the jersey on top of the button-up shirts.
Can you afford a button-up though?
That's class.
No, I not.
Okay. So bring us through what happened. Beal gets this massive contract, right? He gets this massive contract as the Wizards. And I listen, we know that you're eager to talk to the audience. We understand, but you just relax, PH. And he gets this massive contract, right? And then he plays and he gets hurt, and then he says he wants out. First of all, when you gave him the contract, what was the feeling like?
Well, I'm gonna rewind. It was a year ago yesterday. That's just bonkers to me. It was a year ago yesterday. So, they gave him the deal. What was it, like $250? It was the super max.
Dude, he wanted to be a Wizard for life. Come on.
Well, here's where it gets tricky. Or did he? Because he had his little press conference. He cried in that press conference.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, he sucks.
There, he was saying he wanted to win a title for the city, and okay. Well, fast forward a year later, that dude's a full of shit.
Amen.
He had this in the back of his mind the entire time. Let me get my $250, which you can't blame him for that. Of course, I'm going to get my money, whatever. But a year later, I mean, he were they going to turn Were they going to turn the team around in 365 days? Probably not. He knew exactly what he was doing when he signed that deal. He handcuffed the franchise, and he basically kind of forced them to get rid of him.
Wow. I mean, that is just brutal, man. That's a knife to the heart. Listen, I've been asking you some questions. I'm going to be moving the mic back and forth. I'm going to lower my mic, but Trilly's got some questions for you, man. So I'm going to turn it over to him. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Go ahead, Trilly.
All right. So I 100% agree with everything you just said about this situation that just went down over the past year. Bradley Beal, he was like, oh yeah, I just want to be, I want to win. I want to win for DC. I want to be a Wizard for life. No, the guy wanted the $250 million. He wanted to go, and Harry said he's a dog on this podcast last week. He's like, oh, Bradley Beal's a dog. He just wants to win. All Bradley Beal wants is that money, and he's getting that money to go out to Phoenix now, Harry's team, and to go. And Harry thinks that guy who is just stuffing his pockets full of money, that he's going to win him a championship with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Can you please let Harry know what kind of a player and what kind of a guy, most importantly, is he getting out there in Phoenix?
You go ahead, PH, before I respond. Go ahead.
First of all, I want to say that Bradley Beal, he ain't Cal Ripken Jr., okay? He never shows up to work, all right?
Okay.
The dude has played in more than 70 – the dude's been in the league for 11 years, and he's only played in more than 70 games 4 times.
Right.
You heard it here last week.
Never shows up. Did you watch him play this year? He was absolute garbage last year. He didn't even look like he was interested in basketball. And if he's going to be on that team that has absolutely no bench, he's going to have to play in a lot more than 70 games. And I don't think you've got it in him.
So TC, let me ask you a quick question here. He also, though, did that in a failing organization that doesn't even deserve to be called an organization. They play basically AAU basketball. So my question would be, for a player that does have some talent, right? Don't you think you hear that he's getting hyped up? Don't you think he might be able to produce a little bit better with some good guys around him?
No, because I'm not going to discredit the kind of player he is, because yes, when he did play, the dude showed up and he balled out. But he's going to be on a team with 2 other guys that also need the ball. And so I don't think he can be as productive as he was with KD and Booker. He's just not that type of guy. He needs the ball to be successful.
Okay, let's move off of Beal real quick. And then, we're kind of giving you a little too much time in the limelight, so we're going to cut it short pretty soon. But let's move on to Kristaps. So break that down. Now, do you want to refer to him by his name or by Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Okay, that was good. That was good. That was a good one, really, don't you think? So I want to know, you sent me a text today. It was funny. It was something like everything from this point on is expected. Which makes sense. You guys are clearing house. You're getting product off the shelves and you're looking to start over. What I want to know is, I think that guy is more washed and more injury prone than even Beal is. I think that there's a lot more upside in Beal than there is in that dude. What do you think about Washington not even trying to keep at least one of their guys and sending him to a real championship contender in the East?
That's a tough question, because when you're showing your hand, teams aren't going to give you anything for anyone.
Right. But
they need to clean house, because you can't keep anything. You have to get rid of everything and start from the ground up, because everything's new. The GM, the president, you have to start from ground zero. You got to get rid of everyone.
Okay. Now, what do you think Kristaps brings to Boston? Is he,
if anything, does he bring anything to Boston?
Right. Does he bring that? That's the question. Is he?
I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, he got 22-8 in Washington, but those are empty stats in my mind. I mean,
right, that's AAU ball.
No disrespect to the DC, but the guy, what else did he have around him? You know what I'm saying? Beal was barely playing games. He was getting a lot of empty stats by the end of the year. When has Kristaps ever performed in his career to be like, hey, that's a
Right.
guy that could be a top 3 player on my team.
So true. Go ahead, PH.
He's a lot like Beal. He's always broken. I mean, I think Beal played in like 60 games last year, and in the games that Kristaps didn't have Beal, he had Kuzma. So
Who's
I mean, I don't know. It's hard
Who
to
opted
tell.
out too. He's looking for 30 mil. Oh, we got to get to that in a minute too.
I don't know where he's gonna find that, but yeah.
so bring us through. You know, you're a little too. I'll be honest, man. Boots on the ground. It's supposed to come. I need to say this. It's supposed to come with a little spontaneity. You're supposed to hear gunfire in the background. You're supposed to hear bombs going off. You're supposed to hear buildings falling.
Towers.
So
Right.
so what I want to know is, give me your, first of all, we knew that there was talk on the town he wanted out. You know, it was LA, it was the Suns. You and I battled over this about the Suns. It was, you know, it was Miami. But when you could really smell the blood in the water that this guy was going to leave, what were those feelings like? What were the emotions like? What was captivating you at that time?
Well, honestly, like I've been through this before several times.
Obviously.
I've been through it with all the way back in '97 when they traded Chris Webber, up all the way back in '09 when they traded Gilbert Arenas.
Guy's old.
And then 2-3 years ago when they traded John Wall. So it's nothing new to me, man. It's just it's just history repeating itself.
It's kind of like a drug addict who relapses, kind of.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly what it's like.
So you've been in and out of treatment, you would call this.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Go ahead, Trill.
How do we fix this as a Washington organization here? Like, is Corey Kispert, or I can't say his last name.
Sorry, we don't fact check here. That's
is he the guy? Like, you can't build around this guy. He's a solid player, but like, he's not the guy.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and I think this is what they should do. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna hang up and listen. I think they need to tank this year, get that lottery pick, and they need to draft Angel Reese from LSU and just completely start from the ground up.
Okay.
Listen, PHTC, we're not going to tell the people where they can find you because, as you know, we keep identity secret here and identity safe. We thank you so much for coming on for this first iteration of Boots on the Ground.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, clap it up for him. That was phenomenal. Listen, that was phenomenal. I mean,
that's the kind of passion we want from our fans, from you.
He kept it clean.
From you. We know if you're listening to us, that's the kind of passion that you have out there for your teams. And we want you to bring that to us. If you want to get on the show, make sure you reach out to us, DM us, whatever. Hit us up in the chats, in the comment section. We want to hear your stories. That's what this is about. We want to build a community and feel what each other feels when our teams have a big heartbreak like this, like the Washington Wizards are going through. We have to hear from people like this. And so make sure you reach out to us because it's been interesting. When the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Phillies lose back-to-back championships, you want to see me in pain, right? We want to see when other people are going through the ups and downs. When the Suns go and they get a Bradley Beal in a trade, you want to see what we are reacting like. And that's why you tune in. That's why you subscribe to this podcast.
That's why you tune in. That's why you subscribe. That's the truth. I want to, we didn't get to talk about this, Trill. I kind of want to break this down with you. Has Boston regressed by going and getting this guy? Because I think so. Because you look at it, they
got rid of guard depth.
They got rid of guard depth, and they need that. But I think of it more as that that there's going to be a product on the market in Ayton who's going to be available at some point to pick up. And you go pick up a guy that's brittle, a guy who's injured all the time. Like, dude, you got outdogged this playoffs, and you went and got a guy who's not a dog. How does that make sense? Like, if anything, I think that this makes Boston have more gaps, not fewer. Like, I saw today we're talking about people are always shitting on Kristaps. He's actually a good player. He's got this amount of points. He's got this amount of points. And it's like, yeah, once in a blue moon, once in every 7 games, the guy's not there. So why does this organization that really is a team that's available to win now, why did they feel the need to jump the gun on this guy?
Because he's a good fourth. He's a good fourth option. That's why. he doesn't have to be a third or a second option on this team, where he has had to been in the past when he was in down in Dallas, right, with Luka for a little bit. He had to be the second option. That didn't work. When he was in New York, he had to be the one or the two option. That didn't work. He cannot be the one. He cannot be the two. Honestly, he can't be the three at this point. And if he goes up to Boston, he's a good enough player that he can be the fourth guy that has enough talent to get them over the top as a big man, scoring wise. I don't think he can play defense as well as the other guys that they have on their bench, and Williams and Horford,
shot.
but he can give you enough that talent wise that they can make something happen with that team. They're getting rid of their depth now that they had, that they thought would have gave them an advantage over the Heat this past season and over a lot of teams over the past season. And they're getting rid of that now, and they're trying to go for more of a full out team now and more well-rounded team to try to make another run. They keep tweaking, they keep trying to see what happens, and it's interesting to see if it's actually going to click. I don't think he's that great of a player. Never have, never will. Ever
Agreed.
since that little big baby bitch from wherever he's from, Slovenia or whatever, said, I don't want to try out for the Philadelphia 76ers during the process years. So I don't want to try out for them. No. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Your career sucks, buddy. We didn't want you anyway. All right. We took Jahlil Okafor and he sucked too. So it doesn't matter. Now the one guy's still in the league and the other isn't, so it is what it is. But when it comes down to it, I just think if you were, let's flip it back on you here, right? Would you have done Brogdon for Ayton in a trade, or would you have wanted more? I think Brogdon would give you a good point guard for this team over what Beal would give you.
Oh, you're saying dealing Ayton instead of 10,000%.
Right? I feel like
yes.
Brogdon would give you a lot more depth and explosiveness to this team that Beal is just not going to bring.
Dude, it goes to the point that I made last week, which is just build around Booker and KD. Build around those two. That's all you need to do. You don't need to bring anybody else in. You need facilitators. You need to do the Golden State pattern. That's what you have to do. You have to go with the times that they lay out, at least in the West. Maybe you don't have to in the whole league. Listen, for God's sake, Giannis won a championship off of defense and length. When was the last time somebody did that? Maybe Dallas. I don't know. So I'm not saying it can be the roadmap for everybody, but I absolutely agree with that point. Yes, Brogdon instead of Beal, trade Ayton, get him off your books. Absolutely. There's got to be something that this team sees in this guy that we don't, because if it doesn't pan out, then you do have to be worried. I'll be very honest. If this doesn't pan out, you have to be worried about does Booker want to stay with the Suns? Because his talent, he is one of the top NBA talents to play. Maybe not of all time yet. He hasn't proved that yet, but he could go on to be that. He could go on to be a top 50, a top 30 player all time with how amazing
we know
he is.
You're a big deep book guy, but he's coming up on 26 now, right?
No, it's getting. Listen, he's got. Would you not disagree that he's got at least 5 to 6 years left of this type of basketball to play?
Oh no, he definitely does. He's got till probably 32.
So if he's got that much time left, he's going to look around and say, if I can't win here, I got to at least get one.
No, yeah.
Because the AI is the last guy that we give the tip of the hat to, former Sixer, is the last guy that we give a tip of the hat to for being great without rings. That's not a thing anymore. You got to have rings.
That's a good point, because when you look at it, everybody gives Chuck crap, another former Sixer, right? For not having any rings, but everybody loves AI because the guy went out and balled. He went out and he was a dog every night. He got that. He got that game one win. Step over Tyronn Lue out there in Los Angeles. So like ever since that, everybody, he is held to a very different weight where nowadays, but Book's been to a final.
He's been to a
couple
final, but if Beal can't put, this is the best way to say it.
Beal, Booker got there by himself
with CP3. But if Beal can't put Durant in a position of success, both of those guys are going to go. Because maybe not both. KD definitely will, because KD has no allegiance to anybody. But Booker will start to think to himself. Booker is not, he's not a Dame. He's a guy who wants to win and not just make money and stay loyal. Booker wants to win. Booker wants to be a guy that's in Curry's conversation. Booker wants to be a guy who's in Kobe's conversation. He embodies Kobe Bryant. He talks about that all the time, right? Kobe was his biggest mentor in basketball. Kobe was a winner. So that's who he wants to be. But yeah, man, no, I think that your trade is a lot better. And I just really hope that we can trade Ayton to a team. Let's think about that. Where would Ayton go where we could get the most out of? It would have to be an East team, because there's nobody in the West that's going to deal for him that either A, needs him, or B, has the bench to facilitate him. Unless it was like the Clippers, which I don't think that's going to happen. So I think he's got to go to the East.
Keep loading up on shooting and small forwards. Give him Paul George for Ayton. Just keep loading up on 2 and 3 guards.
That would be crazy if we did that. I pray to God we don't. I mean, what do you think? I mean, we go get Kawhi, another injury-prone guard.
Yeah.
No,
Does everybody be ready for the playoffs? That's all you say. You're like, hey, I don't care. Just we'll get to the playoffs. If one of you play a night, the rest of the 4 of you take a break, and then you just got to be healthy. Be healthy for the playoffs. I don't know. The Knicks, your boy Colin Cowturd, I saw he threw him out there. You do Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart for Ayton and a couple picks.
Love that.
I feel like that would be a good deal. Maybe he's actually right every once in a while, and it kind of makes sense. Like that would be a trade that would make a lot of sense, because Brunson needs some superstar power help, because Brunson is a very good player, but he's not the one. And now neither is our boy, right? Ayton, right? But when it comes down to it, it'll be a lot more help than a Mitchell Robinson and a bunch of these other big guys that are just okay. Julius Randle's. It would make the Knicks at least a little bit more exciting. It would give a little bit an extra firepower now. And I think it would really help the Suns if Mitch was on this team, because they have the offense. They just need somebody just to get rebounds and blocks.
Correct.
That's all they're looking for now on this bench. They need to invest heavily in their analytical team and be like, we need guys that are 6'8" plus, everybody on every position, and they have a 10-foot wingspan, like just the longest arms possible. Everybody just get rebounds and block shots. That's all they need. They got guys that can score points for days now, 30 plus a night. They just need people to get rebounds and get blocks.
Does Ayton stay? Does Ayton stay with this addition of Beal? I don't think so at all. I think he wants out.
Yeah.
I think that he personally, like, even more than the Sixers, I think, like, we had this conversation last week or 2 weeks ago. I think that Ayton wants out more than Brown wants out. I truly do believe that between those two teams. If you ask me,
so? I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. That's why I'm like, if he wants out that bad, that the Suns are making these moves, that he wasn't involved in one of them.
Because I think that what they're trying to establish is they know that they can get a ton for him, in the sense of that even 2 players is a ton. They can get more for him than they can get for anybody that was worth a trade. They can get more for him than they could for Paul, right? And they're not, damn it, I wish that PHTC was on for this line. The Sixers or the Wizards are too stupid to see that opportunity in front of them about how good it would be to get a guy like Ayton. So they'll
Why
go
wouldn't
and
why
get a
wouldn't
guy
they
like
give a
Chris Paul.
Kitspur or these other decent guys for Ayton and then them to flip Ayton on top of it? You know what I'm saying? Like
I know what you're saying.
a couple of these depth guys, sent them to Phoenix with Beal, get off the one big contract, bring in a guy that's younger, more you can kind of sell your franchise, like the fans on a little bit, and Ayton be like, hey, we at least have him instead of a couple second-round picks, like and go forward from there, right? Like I feel like that would have been the move to be able to get a little bit of those extra shooters off the bench.
Maybe.
Because they have skill guys still, but they're just not number 1 and 2s on that Washington team.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know where's Ayton going and what are we getting and what are the Suns getting for him? That's what I want to know.
Mm.
All right, dude. What do you want to do right now? You want to keep bantering? Where should we go with this?
Yeah, let's wrap it up here. We got to fill it out, round out the NBA talk. Big keeping up with the NBA conversation here. It's going to be the thumbnail of the video. I hope you all understand.
Of course,
that.
it will be.
Yeah, it's going to be the best. Maybe we'll throw Kim K in there. You know what I'm saying? But well, what's going on? Like, I'm seeing all these moves, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the Philadelphia tri-state area. We got 95 going down. We got trouble in paradise. We got things going wrong left and right.
Yep.
I don't know. Who knows? The water might go wrong right next. Who knows? Right? I'm just kidding. But the Sixers haven't made a move. James Harden, he's out there in free agency. He might come back. He might not. He wants a 4-year deal. He might not want a 4-year deal.
He's done.
Joel Embiid is the MVP, but he might not be a winner. That's just all the talk, right? Working in the media, right? You hear all these left and rights and this and that. How do we get better? How do we go from a team that has made number 1 seed appearances to having the MVP to having all these expectations to now can Tyrese Maxey be the guy? Is Tobias Harris going to be traded? I would have thought everybody wanted Tobias traded for Kristaps. I didn't want Kristaps. I think Kristaps is a loser. And talking to our boy Boots on the ground there, I feel like he feels the same exact way. The guy going up there to Boston, that guy's got nothing in the tank. He doesn't scare me at whatsoever. Correct. But him going to Boston and Boston wanting him and Boston having the Sixers lunch money for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for the past, 7+ years now, it kind of scares me a little bit. But at the same time, I think that guy's a bum, and I think they're going on the downslide. So now where do the Sixers move on from here, right? They have opportunities where I don't think Tobias Harris is going to be on this team come draft night this upcoming week.
Wow.
I really don't.
Wow.
As much as I've talked Tobias Harris's praise over the playoff run where he has learned how to play defense, where he kind of learned his role in this Sixers team, he's getting paid too much money to be able to not be able to fit in as well as he should. He has been able to figure it out a little bit, but the match just isn't there to be able to win. And when it comes down to it, when Joel and Harden aren't performing and Maxey isn't performing, neither was Tobias. Somebody's got to step up, and Tobias is going to be the guy that takes the downfall, just like Doc Rivers was. And was it all their fault? No. Should he have been getting criticized for what he's getting paid? No. But he has value for a lot of teams where the Sixers can go and get a bunch of moves now and open up space to bring in a guy like a Fred VanVleet, to bring in a guy like Chris Paul, to bring in a guy, I don't know, if maybe Brogdon gets bought out, that'd be kind of cool, but I don't think
so. Crazy. Now you're now you're going crazy.
Now I got a little crazy there, but you know what I'm saying? I would rather have a Brogdon over those two, but they can open up a lot of different opportunities now with the cap space situation. You let Harden walk and you build around Joel, you build around Maxey, and you go from there now with Tobias Harris contract situation lightened up. Now a lot of people are saying this isn't the year to do it with the free agency wise. Yeah, I agree with you. There's no superstars really out there, but Zion Williamson, we really haven't talked a lot about him.
Dude, I wanted to bring
his
that
whole
up about
situation.
the Suns.
What's going on? Zion's
going on?
He gets
Zion fucks big time, raw and bag.
Yeah.
Both.
So would you trade it to Tobias and a couple bench pieces for?
But if you're doing
Zion?
that, at that point, why wouldn't you trade to go get Ayton? Why would you go get another big man?
Well, Zion's more of a 4. He's a legit 4. Ayton's not a 4.
He's a legit
Ayton
4.
and Embiid won't be able to mesh together.
But
Zion and Embiid could 100% mesh.
But,
they could run and gun. They could be the bad boys, the fatties, bumping into each other. You know what I'm saying? Box it out, yamming, going end to end, and then they're both huffing and puffing every 5 minutes. Like
they're calling him Diabito back and forth. You know what I'm saying? There goes Diabito. You know, while they dunk. But that won't win you titles, dog.
Huffing cheesesteaks, but you don't know. Those are talent.
They've got to get a true okay, here's what I will say. The Sixers need a guy like Booker or a guy like Luka to match with Embiid to be able to win.
Yeah, but how are you gonna get that guy? You just can't.
But my point is, that's the position that you got to go get. Like I think that the Sixers should be trying to get a guy, though he was chucking up threes. I think that the Sixers should be trying to land pool. That's a good spot for him, dude. That's a good spot for you. You need that. You need a guy that's been around superstars like that.
But what could we give? What could we give for him, though, is my question.
Okay, would
Tobias?
Would they consider Tobias?
They're gonna want Maxey, and we're not giving up Maxey.
Yeah. Okay, so do you go and try to get? I don't know. You're not getting De'Aaron Fox. He's set as a king. I don't know who can you go get? Do you go get LeBron?
Like a Chris Middleton? Do you go Middleton and Tobias swap? But they're both kind of the same player.
Do you go get Paul George?
I'm in for that, honestly.
Do you go get Paul George?
Do you go back to the Clippers?
Do you go get Paul like that? That with Maxey works.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Big time.
Because Paul George can go get his own shot now. Yeah, the Sixers are just in an asset problem where we can throw out all these names, but with
who are you giving?
Beal, but with Beal going for next to nothing, Kristaps and Brogdon going for next to nothing, why can't the Sixers make a move like that? You know, why can't they go out and get one of these overpriced veterans, somebody you dump a contract like it's Tobias Harris, who's a good player. He's a very good player in this league for almost a decade now, and flip that for somebody that can kind of fit your mold better. They have to find that sweet spot where it comes down to it, where it just meshes with the other team. Where those teams that are making these deals, it has worked out perfectly. The Sixers have to find that.
But what I would argue is the reason why that deal got done is because of how bad Washington is as an organization, and the Sixers are not. Like, if you compare the Sixers to Washington, or the Washington or the Wizards,
I'm putting the Sixers in the Suns and the Celtics. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Why can't we get a guy like that to come? Finesse a trade.
Why can't we get a guy? Come on.
Yeah.
Why can't we
get a guy?
Yeah. You need a guy. You need a guy. I got a guy. You need a guy. I don't know, man. I think it's because I think that kind of the Sixers have this like smell on them, like you can't make it out of the second round. It's kind of disgusting. I do think that superstars really do want to play in Philadelphia. I do believe that it's a great sports town. It's an amazing sports town, and the Sixers fans are diehard. But the question is, again, what is the position that you're most going for? I think that we both agree it isn't a true 4. You need to go out and get either a real deal too. So the question is, we need
a real deal point guard.
A real deal one. Okay, a one.
Yeah, one or two. We need a one or two. Everybody's talking about Porzingis as the best stretch 4 that we could ever have. That guy has loser energy written all over him.
Correct.
He's got Tobias Harris written all over him. We need a point guard that can just pick and pop with Joel and actually not have to go off for 40 and then wait 3 nights to be like, okay, I can do it again.
You go get Ben Simmons.
Yeah. All right. Good one.
Imagine if he was brought back
we
in.
might have
I
to
think he'd
bring
get
we
stabbed.
might have to bring our boy in. If you're a real one, you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and everything else, and you're subscribed with the notification bell on. But our boy Anthony Argano, who hopped on the draft show, we might have to bring him back on for the pod and kind of talk about it a little bit more, what's going on with the Sixers moving forward. Because you know what, Ant's he's in touch with the organization.
Dude, PH loves Ant.
Does he? Yeah,
Ant.
dude,
Loves
that's my
Ant.
guy.
Loves Ant. All right, dude, let's wrap this. This has been a great episode of Cold Ones. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to have another episode coming out. We love you guys. Thanks for listening to our new show segment of Boots on the Ground. We absolutely love you. We're at 101 subscribers. We want that number to keep going up. Shout out real quick, Philly Drinkers. We love them. Go check out their amazing merch. Go look at their website. The description's in the bio. They got the best golf gear around. They got the best Philly gear around. We absolutely love them. And that's it on my part, man.
Yeah, we're working out a couple of things with Philly Drinkers. We got to come up with some Cold One conversation gear. We got to get it going. Maybe some stickers, whatever. We'll figure it out moving forward the next couple of months here. But we appreciate all of you. Make sure you click that subscribe button. The golf outing is not going to happen. We're sorry. We're dumping this on at the very end. I have some stuff that I have, personal reasons.
We got family business to take care of.
Yeah. Then we're going to figure it out.
It's a family show.
Through the summer, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to make it happen 100%. We appreciate the couple people that hit me up and Harry up in the DMs that want to be a part of it. We're going to keep your vote, and that's going to be worth double for the next time once we figure out a date that we can actually make it happen. It really stinks that we weren't this time around. We really want to be involved with our community and all those people that listen to us. We really appreciate all of you. Click that subscribe button. Follow us, Instagram, Twitter, everything. We love you guys. Thank you. Peace.